Hello and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. They get a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and tempt you with a cash offer on the table today.
£1,000 there. Deal?
No.
If I don't think that's enough money, I'm going to say reject that offer, have a gamble, go to auction. Hopefully, we will get you a little bit more money there. Today, the show comes to you from Stoke-on-Trent in the Potteries. There's a great crowd of people here. They've been here since early this morning. They've brought along their treasures. You know why they're here. They want to walk out of this room with the real deal.
With such a great turnout, we're really excited about our first deal of the day. Emma's brought Brenda Haller a little cutie. Come on, tell us everything you know.
I don't know what I've brought along, and I don't know nothing about it, and I don't know how much to expect at all.
OK. Brenda, perhaps you can help out.
Netsukes are quite easy to sell if you have ivory. This one is bone. But I think I might have somebody for it, yeah.
So let's get to the bottom of what this lovely little thing is.
You brought a little netsuke in. Do you know anything about it?
Nothing at all.
Where did you find it?
Sorting out my nan's things when she died. It was just in different boxes.
Oh.
And I thought it was dead cute.
Yes. It is a netsuke, Japanese. And what they would use these for is they would have, you know, the silk robes that the Japanese wear,
yes.
The gentlemen particularly wear. Well, when you tie a silk belt round a silk robe, it comes undone all the time. But if you weighted it through those little holes, so you put the belt, the silk through the holes, and it weights it down. So it would hold the robe together. Basically, it looks to me probably 19th century. Is there any history of your grandpa going in the Second World War to Japan?
No.
So nothing there. So you don't know
where it's
come from. It's just arrived. Okay, it is a nice little water buffalo. So let's have a go. I'm not going to mess about. 20, 40. £60. Give me a clue on what's going on in there.
Right, I'm going to say £60 is quite a nice little start. Brenda has told you it's a nice little water buffalo. I think it's worth more than that. I would have thought £100-ish is kind of its money. So if the bag is still open, the purse, let's see how much more money we can get out of that purse.
My final offer is going to be £80. If it was ivory, I'd be paying 150 to 200 for it. Maybe a little bit more. So, £80 final offer on the table. What do you think?
Good deal.
Okay, well done, Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought it was very interesting how she told me the story of why there was holes in the bottom. I thought it was broke.
Now she knows and she can tell all her friends what a netsuke really is.
I can't believe it's about £80. I'd buy some new shoes.
Enjoy your shoe shopping, Emma. Over at Michael Hogben's table, an elegant lady is waiting to show him her stylish brooches. What do you reckon, Hoggy?
Often you come across these sort of little bits of jewellery and you think you're going to put them in the melting pot. These are much too good for the melting pot. Helen, thank you for coming in today with two very nice little bits of jewellery, your gold bar brooch and your silver bar brooch. What do you know about them?
Well, I know that they've been sitting for quite a few years now in my jewellery box.
Yeah.
They came from my mother's jewellery box. I've done some research and I believe them to be Art Nouveau.
Good stuff. You're an expert, Helen.
Oh, but of course. No, I'm not an expert, I can assure you.
Yeah. Well, they are interesting. They are turn of the century, and they're more Art Nouveau inspired, maybe the Secessionist period. which was just a little bit after Art Nouveau. So they've got that sort of look to them. The one I really like is this one here, the silver one with the enamel.
Yes.
And this is made by a really good maker called Charles Horner. And Charles Horner was very, very good at toy silver, should we call it. Small silver, but really dynamic pieces. And the way he's put the enamel set in here, it just really does sit well for me. I really like it. This one, I think, is a little bit more bulk standard with just a bar brooch, and that's a little emerald in there.
Yes.
9 carat gold, but it's got a very small hallmark on there, which we can't pick up, but it is hallmark 9 carat. So they're both nice little bits of items, really. So where should I go with these? You are remembering that I've got to make a profit, Helen, aren't you?
You've got to live.
You'll be kind to me.
I'll try.
I think it. Right, here we go then. So let's try 20, 40, 60, 80.
They're worth more than that.
Yeah, 100 quid.
It's quite good, but it's not as good as it should be, really, I think.
Really? Do you know, I don't think I can go much further. I've got to make a little profit on them. It's
I
David, here, love you.
don't want to be greedy, but I do think they're worth a little more.
Well, I think I agree with you, Helen, because our independent values on the auctioneer, they are saying 80 to 120, 100 to 150. You've got 100 there. Maybe it's worth a little bit more. I'm going to say he's a nice guy, and if you say, Michael, please, be fair, give us another 20 quid, I think he'll give you a good price.
Thank you for the advice.
That's always sound advice from David.
I think I ought to follow that sound
I think
advice,
it's
don't
sound.
you, and ask you for just a little
Yeah.
more.
So there's 100 quid there. I'll up it by 20
Purple.
quid. And that's all I will do. £120 is my final offer.
That's a deal.
Thank you, Helen.
Take them down to Kent.
I will.
Bye-bye, little brooches.
Thanks, David. Let's gallop back to the den to David Tupman's table. Steve's come with a little visitor.
I brought a Staffordshire figure of the Duke of Wellington as Prime Minister, and I'm looking to get about £100 if I could squeeze it out on him.
Let's see how you go, Steve.
You've brought a figure of Wellington in for us today. What can you tell us about it?
I brought it about 5 or 6 years ago from auction. I've just started moving things around and it just doesn't fit anymore, really.
Right, okay. Well, we have, late 19th century Staffordshire figure of Wellington sitting in a chair. I don't think I've ever seen this figure before.
it is rare.
It is a rare figure, is it? If we look at the back here, we can see, unfortunately, it has had some restoration across the back at some stage, but you bought it like that. You haven't had the restoration done. It's difficult when something's been sprayed like that to see how bad the damage was. A fine figure, though. Let's put a little bit of money on the table and see if we can persuade you to part with it. I'm going to put down 20, 40 pounds. Are we miles away?
That's miles away, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a very interesting figure, but I don't really like the fact that it's restored. I think that's going to be a problem in terms of selling it.
I hear what you're saying about the restoration, and that normally could be a problem, but it's a piece of Staffordshire. It is on this plain surface. You're not really aware of it. I think 40 is too low. I would have thought somewhere around 60 or 70 quid would be more tempting. I think you'll sell that, David, even declaring the restoration.
I do as well.
Well,
If you give me my money back,
I'm going to
deal.
put £60 down on the table. Does that give you your money back?
No, you're close.
No, but that is absolutely my limit. I'm not going to put any more money down. So I think you may have to take it to auction.
How close was it? What did you pay for it?
I paid 70 plus commission.
Right, okay. I'm going to say to you, Dave, I bet you could strike a deal if you put another tenner down.
I don't think
70 without the commission. And
I don't think I want to pay any more for
I
it.
think you could sell that.
To be honest with you, I'd be disappointed with 70, but I'd accept 70. You'd be disappointed with 70, but would you accept 70?
I'm getting out of the way because I can see that David Tupman is thinking, there's a few bob in this. I think you'll still get 100 plus for that.
That's not going to sit on the shelf for days and days. No way. No way.
Well, right, okay. I'm going to give you 70 quid.
Right, okay.
I'm buying it because I like the figure. I like the figure of Wellington. But I don't think that that is a great commercial proposition for me.
I'll have a little bet with you. You'll sell it for 100 plus.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
We've got a deal.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
We'll find out who wins the bet later in the show. Also still to come.
I see a very fashionable street in Brighton with some rather quality houses in it. Who do I see looking out of the bedroom window?
Surely it's a tall, dark, handsome stranger?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
We're in Stoke-on-Trent and we've already seen some great items come in. But can we predict what Simon Schneider will think of this crystal ball?
If I could see into the future, I'd be able to tell you exactly what I'm going to pay for it, exactly what I'd get for it, who I'd sell it to.
Well, Christine's got a clear idea of how much she wants for it.
I would like to take home, say, 120. That would be quite nice.
Maybe the Duke and auctioneer David Brettle can help you. They're on standby in case they foresee trouble.
Christine, you brought in this crystal ball in its original box. What can you tell me about it?
All I know about it is it was in my husband's family. It's just passed down. That's all I know. The Hammersley
So there
family.
wasn't any great stories with it? There wasn't any psychics in the family?
Well,
or...
not that I know of. It's been in its box in a drawer. I've looked at it. I've tried to get the fluence, but nothing happened.
Well, I have to say, I've never actually owned one of these. I have seen them in the trade before. What's nice about it is it appears to be in fantastic condition. These were very popular around the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, and as people sort of became interested in clairvoyancy and psychics, and these were sort of produced, and you do see them around. What I think is particularly nice about this one is that it's got its original box, and that box sort of is a typical leather box that dates from around the turn of the last century, so I think this is clearly 100 years old. I think it's a nice thing.
Well, David, if only we could look into this crystal ball and see the future, we would learn a lot from it. But you don't often see them in their cases, or do you?
No, you do not. That's what makes this one a little bit more special.
What do they make normally? Just say...
without the box.
Without the box, so they're not uncommon.
No, they're not uncommon. I mean, 40 to 60 pounds is kind of, I suppose, the auctioneer's estimate for them. They might make a little bit more. Just depends on their size, of course.
Yeah.
But that said, this one, I'm going to be a bit conservative, I think, and go 80, 120.
Okay. Independent valuers are going 100 to 150.
Yeah.
Maybe the box has got us a little bit carried away. Let's see what our dealer puts on the table.
Well, Christine, I'm prepared to offer you £100 for your crystal ball because I like it and I'd like to own it.
Now, this is where we need to take a look into the crystal ball. I see a very fashionable street in Brighton with some rather quality houses in it. Who do I see looking out of the bedroom window? Simon wants to buy this, and rightly so. These turn up quite often, the crystal balls, but this one has its case. Makes it a little bit more special, I think. You're not a long way away, but I think, in fact, I'm sure, if you ask for another 20, he'll put it down so quickly, he'll have this in Brighton before we can stand up from the table.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Christine, David has obviously seen into the future, and he's quite right. I would love to buy it, and I think £120 a strong bid, but I do think there's still a profit left in it for me.
Right.
The decision is yours, £120.
Can I ask my husband?
Yeah, of course you can.
What do you think? What do you think? Yes or okay?
We've got a thumbs up there.
Yes.
I think that means full steam ahead.
It seems so.
£120, Christine. Are we happy?
Yes.
Thank you very much for bringing in a very interesting item.
Thank you. My husband's got a big birthday coming up in the near future, so I'm going to perhaps treat him.
How lovely. Happy birthday. And from crystal balls to diamond rings, Kathleen's come to wow Brenda with her jewellery.
Something good coming up. My field, rings and little diamonds.
I'm hoping to get between 4 and 5, hopefully at the top end. I do know that once you close it a purse, that is it.
Better get in there quick then, Kathleen. Good luck.
You brought 9 rings.
Yes.
These are all yours?
They are.
Yeah.
A collection over the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all very small sizes.
Very. Very. I can just about fit in the smallest one.
So any of these, if I bought them, would have to, unless it was a very petite lady like yourself, it'd have to be sized up. That's quite a pretty one, isn't it?
Yes.
It's little diamonds and a sapphire in the middle.
That's correct.
And it's quite a pale sapphire, which is a good sign. That's a nice, sweet little ring.
My husband bought me that one.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, why are you selling them all then?
I'm just not wearing rings of any description.
Right.
I don't know why. I just don't feel the need for them. They're shoved in a drawer.
Yeah.
You're neither about them. In case it
you're worried about them. Okay.
So they may as well go.
All right. So over here we've got diamonds in white gold and 18 carat.
Yes.
And over here we've got pearls and again little tiny diamonds. So there's not a huge amount of diamond value.
No.
But there's 9 nice little rings there. And I say little.
Being the operative word.
Being the operative word. Let's get some money out.
Okay.
Okay. We will go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. That's for one block.
I thought I was doing well then, and then you said one. I thought, one ring, doing well.
40, 60, 80. That's 2 blocks. Okay, and 20, 40, 60, 80. Making it simple. 3 blocks, 300. No?
No, sorry.
Why not?
No. Because I know what I paid just for one.
Right.
Okay, it was one of the better ones.
Okay.
But it was considerably more than that.
Right. If they go to auction, they're probably going to be scrapped. I don't want them to be scrapped, so I'll give you a little bit more.
Okay.
A little bit more. I would put another £40 on, and that's where I want to leave it. Because they're not going to be easy for me to sell because of the size.
Can't make another 10.
Don't want to.
No.
I have got other places that I can buy these, you know, at the right size.
340 is the equivalent of about £400 in the sale room. £400, take away 60 would leave you with 340. There is a realistic chance if you went to auction, they could bring more. So think about it. If you want to go to auction, we can take them, and I think we've got a reasonably good chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as he says, you've got the commission, so you've got to think of that as well. Up to you now.
I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go to auction.
Okay, I wish you well, and you might get lucky.
Hopefully.
Let's hope they don't scrap them.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. When I go to auction, I'm looking for at least £400. It's well worth it.
But does auctioneer David think you'll get that?
We should be in and around the same sort of money that Brenda has bid by the time we get the commission taken off.
Oh, has Kathleen made the right decision? Let's nip across to the sale room and find out.
Here we go. This is your rings, Kathleen. Bought over many years, since the 1970s. Paid quite a bit of money for them because you bought them retail from jewellers' shops or antique fairs. You turned down 340. The reserve in the sale room is 350. Let's see what happens.
Lot number 183, collection of 4 18-carat and 5 9-carat gold ladies dress rings set with diamonds, sapphires and pearls. There we are, put me in for those, 3 400, 200 for you, 200 bid at 200, 200 bid, 220, 220, 240, 60.
240, 260, 280. It's still a bit low.
300 on the net, 320, 340, 340, 345 I'm bid now in the room, 345 on the net if you want to go, 345 nearly, but not quite.
Okay, on the day we didn't make the reserve of 350. I'm going to say to you, take these home. They can come out again at another time to another auction house, or you can start using them on those delicate little fingers. That's what I'm going to suggest.
Thank you.
In the meantime, that is, before bringing them out again. So on the day, I'm going to award the real deal to Brenda at £340. That was the real deal.
Back in the den, what opening move will Michael make on David's item?
David, this is instantly recognisable as Wedgwood.
Yes.
And obviously a chess set as well. Where did you get it from?
Well, I've had it for about 10 years now. I bought it off a friend.
Yeah. And it's basalt, it's called, because it's not glazed, is it?
No.
And where has it been for the last 10 years?
Wrapped up.
Wrapped up? Yeah. And now you thought, oh, I'll get it out and sell it?
Yep.
Well, to chess collectors, I think this is going to be a collector's lot.
Okay.
It's a nice item to have. Wedgwood is a good name. I think it's 1970s, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll make you an offer. Whether it's going to be enough, I don't know. But I'm feeling like 100 quid would buy it.
No.
No, it's worth more than that, isn't it?
A lot more than that.
Let's have a look. Let's see what we can do. I'll count it over here so I don't in no danger of knocking it over, okay? 120, 140 quid.
No.
Excellent, quality, desirable. It has a look of quality, this.
Dead right.
£200 to £300 is the estimate being put on by our independent valuers and our auctioneer. But I can tell you, I've done a quick bit of investigation. Sets similar to this have been known to make 600, 700. This almost has a contemporary look to it. Great lot.
Yeah.
200 to 300 seems realistic to me.
Yep.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it did better at auction.
Well, I think that's a bit of a surprise to me. I'll be guided by the independent valuers and I'll make an offer of £200, which is their low estimate.
No.
I'll make an offer a little bit higher than their low estimate. 220, David. No commission to pay, cash in hand. Hogbent's hard-earned money, we call that.
Okay.
You sure?
Deal.
I'm very happy, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm going to teach my grandson Theo to play chess with this now.
Okay. Very good.
He'll like it.
Well, I was really tempted to go to the auction, but 220 cash. I'm happy with that.
I was so pleased to own that Wedgwood chess set. It's just a really nice collectible of the future for me, that one.
But will you keep it or will you cash it in for a quick profit? We'll find out later. Coming up, the stakes are high.
260, David.
No.
David, are you a gambler?
Will David cash in his chips? Find out after the break. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Stoke-on-Trent in Staffordshire. The locals are still queuing up, but it's our dealers David Tupman and Simon Schneider who are having their items looked at.
I've got two of our regular dealers here today, and I've asked them to bring in 2 items each. One item which they just couldn't bear to part with, which they bought on the show, and another item which, to tell you the truth, they've had problems with and they couldn't sell. So I'm going over to you, David, first of all. The item which you have had difficulty selling was this signed photograph of the Spice Girls, And I seem to recall it was for some kind of charity.
It was for charity, David. You came on singing, do you want, do you want, do you really, really want?
Do you really,
and
really
I didn't want, but you rather bullied me into buying it. And I took it home and I haven't really got the customers for this particular item.
What did you pay for this after a somewhat of pressure from myself?
It was £100. It was £20 a Spice Girl at the time.
Is that all?
Has the value of Spice Girls
Do you
gone
want
up
to
or
sell?
not?
Do you really want to sell? Do you really want to sell?
I do really want to sell.
Well, I'm told that even Posh's signature now brings about $300 in Beverly Hills.
Who told you that?
Well, Posh. OK,
yeah.
Come on, what's your piece that, Simon, you regret buying or even a wheeler dealer from Brighton can't get rid of?
Well, the name Clariscliffe immediately conjures up
Oh, my
pound
goodness.
signs.
Oh.
Not all Clariscliffe conjures up easy sells, put it like that. I think it cost £70. I didn't particularly want to buy it at the time, and I've been proved totally right, because it's probably almost impossible to sell.
Blimey, that is an ugly parrot. Now, what's the piece that you just couldn't bear to part with? Something you bought on the show and you absolutely love it.
Well, it's this little car mascot here, David.
Fabulous.
And I bought this on the very first show I did, and it was the very first thing I ever bought on the show.
Isn't that an American mascot
It
from
is.
a truck?
It's a Mack from the Mack
Yes.
track. I think it's from
Mack.
the 30s, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
What did
having
you
it.
pay for that?
I think it was £40.
OK, so no matter what we offer today,
Look,
Dave,
I love that mascot, and despite the fact I paid rather more for this, I'm prepared to swap the Spice Girls for the mascot.
What I do, I'll swap the Spice Girls for the Clariscliffe jug.
And coming over to you, David, now, I'm looking, I remember that. We have this carved lava bracelet set in gold, 19th century.
Probably first half, 1840, Roman. It was a Newbury racecourse.
Yes.
Lovely lady brought this in, and she was. We had to stop the filming of the thing in order that because she wasn't sure whether she wanted
I
to sell
recall
it.
there was a question, was she doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Should she sell it on the day?
Yeah.
Now, she eventually decided to sell, but was still a bit hesitant, David.
That's right. So when I bought the thing, took it home, I thought, well, there's a possibility she might be so upset she'd ring up and say, is it possible not to sell it? So I put it on a shelf. And it's sort of grown roots, David. It's sort of, there's certain things that have been there for ages, and that's one of them. And I think it brings back fond memories of the show.
You've seen the enthusiasm of these guys. These are both professional, knowledgeable dealers, but even they sometimes get it wrong. But if you want to go into a business where you're going to enjoy it, meet some great pals, some great characters, the antique business is the business for you.
Interesting stuff, boys. And now let's see how Brenda does with the lot parked up at her table.
Hello, David.
Hello there.
Wow, some impressive
Yes.
dinkies. Are these yours from childhood?
Yes, when I was a child. When I was about 10 years old, my parents bought them for me.
And you kept the boxes and everything?
Yes, yes. They've been up in the loft for years.
Really? Wow, you must have been a very careful child.
Yes. Well, I was. I used to like my toys.
You treasured them, obviously.
Yes, yes.
What's made you bring them out of the loft?
Well, I'm 65 now, and
Wow.
I'm best selling them on, I think.
Yeah, give somebody else the pleasure.
That's right, yes.
All right. So what we've got here is 5 dinky toys of the 1950s, 1955 period.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I particularly like this one with all the little chains on
That's
it.
right,
It's
yeah.
fantastic. And the Regent oil tanker.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Let me see. Okay. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80. I'm slowing down. 200.
No.
220. 240. 260, David.
No.
That's a pretty definite no. I'm not sure what we should be paying on these, so maybe David can give me some advice.
Well, consistently in the sale room, these dinky toys do very well. Our experts are saying 300 to 500. But sometimes these can come to life, and one of these trucks can bring the in at, depending on the model, and I'm not sure. That looks an interesting model to me, and so does the petrol tanker. So unless you get a bit more money, up towards the 400 to tempt you, I think they're worth a gamble.
Yeah.
Because in the sale room, they know about them, and there are lots of dinky collectors.
Right, okay then.
Yeah. David, are you a gambler?
Yes.
Ooh, are
Not
you?
usually,
Not
but
usually.
I think I'll have a gamble with these, I think.
You
Well,
will?
what Dave's just
Yeah.
advised me on.
So you're not going to take my 260?
No, no.
All right. Well, good luck with
Thank
that,
you.
David.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the dinky toys are speeding off to auction. But has David done the right thing in turning down Brenda's offer?
He can't make it today. I'm looking after his interest. When he came along on the deals day, he sat down with Brenda Haller. Now, she offered 260 quid. The reserve is set at £300. Even if they don't sell, I think the £260 offer was far too low.
Lot number 61, a collection of 5 now. They're box dinky toys. Bids on these and I start, well, I'll start at the lowest, which is 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190.
£190 is very low.
190 bid, 100, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300.
300 in the room now, so we're at the reserve, 310.
310, 320 on the net, 330 in the room, 340.
340 now on the internet, 350 in the room. The competition is between the internet and the room.
350 bid, may I say 60 for the net. 350, third and final, will be sold in the room at 350.
£350, there is some commission to take away, and we will be sending David £287 net after those deductions. That was the real deal.
Coming up, Simon makes a bold move.
Julie, £1,000 there. Deal?
Will Julie think a grand is grand? Find out after the break.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
It's been a busy day and the excitement may have been too much for some. But we just have time for one last deal. Could this be a big one then, Simon?
There's a lot of gold items. It's going to be a lot of money because a lot of gold equates to a lot of money at the moment.
That sounds good. How much is Julie expecting?
I'm hoping that Simon will give me what I'm after. I'm prepared to fight a lot, maybe £1,200 to £1,500.
Let's see if you get Simon on the ropes, Julie.
Now, Julie, you've bought in an array of gold jewellery.
Yes.
What can you tell me about this?
It's come down in the family. We're not quite sure which pieces belong to who in the family, so we don't know an awful lot about it.
What's quite interesting is that you've come in to sell gold at a brilliant time.
Right.
To sell gold because the price is at an all-time high at the moment.
Yeah.
And when we look at this, we can see what we got here. We've got a couple of signet rings, a few wedding rings, little bits of chain. It looks nice spread out like that, but it doesn't actually look like a massive amount of goods, does it?
No.
Now, the thing about gold is gold comes in different carats.
Yes.
Different purity of gold. And we've got a selection here of the most common carats of purity of gold we find. We've got some 9-carat items, we've got some 18-carat items, and we've also got some 22-carat gold items. Now, obviously, the higher the carat, the higher the purity, the higher the price.
Yes.
And it all comes down to what this lot is actually worth, the metal price of it today.
Right, okay.
I mean, I've been dealing in jewellery for years and years. And I have to say, sometimes I'm still surprised, even now, when you look at an array like that, and what it can actually come to in money is a lot of money, as I'm about to show you.
Very good.
Right, Julie, £1,000 there. Deal?
Julie wants at least 1,200. Is that a yes then?
No.
No?
No.
Getting warm though, aren't we?
I think there's a bit more to squeeze.
That's not a bad opening offer, though.
It's not, no, it's very good.
Would you like to hear what David thinks?
Yes, please.
Right. A nice parcel of assorted carat gold pieces there. I'll tell you what the independent valuers and the auctioneer say. They say 12 to 1300, 12 to 1800. Now, what I can tell you, in weight alone, there is just over £1,450 worth of bullion or precious metal there. Our dealer has to make a profit on the outlay of his money, but I'm going to say even with that, in the sale room, I think you would do better at this stage. So I'm going to hand you over to Simon, who's thinking, blimey, how much have I got to give? It would be nice to see another couple of £100 really, and still leaving perhaps 250 margin in it, which you would be entitled to laying out that kind of money.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Well, that actually just sums everything up perfectly well. The one advantage David had on me there is that he knew the exact weight of it and the exact value, which I obviously hadn't had a chance to work out. But I would be more than happy to add £200 to that, to make a total of £1,200. Julie, £1,200.
Can we squeeze another 50?
The only trouble is if it goes down just a little bit before I get a chance to sell it, that could really, really tighten my margins. But to show willing, how about another 20? That's £1,220.
Okay, we'll have a deal.
I'm going to have a deal?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming in, Julie.
Thank you. Simon was really tough to begin with, but then he came round to my way of thinking after David came in.
I always give a fair deal, and Julie was no exception. She got a very fair deal. It's a great time to sell gold, and I'm always happy to buy it because it's a very easy profit to make.
Is it, Simon? Well, let's see how you and the other dealers have done today. Brenda was very confident she'd make a quick profit on that carved buffalo.
I like netsuke, they're easy to sell.
Pull the other one. She still needs to find a buyer. And the pressure was on for David Tupman to sell the Duke of Wellington figurine at a profit.
I'll have a little bet with you. You'll sell it for 100 plus.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Steve, you were dead right. Guess how much Tupper's sold old Nosy for? £100. And it was swings and roundabouts for our cheeky chappies Simon and Hoggy. Hoggy struggled with the Art Nouveau brooches. He managed to sell one for £60, but he does need to make £60 on the other one to get his money back. And Simon made a loss of £20 on that crystal ball. Shame he didn't see that coming. But it wasn't all bad news for the boys. Hoggy said he was going to keep that Wedgwood chess set.
It's just a really nice collectible of the future for me, that one.
But guess what? He couldn't help himself when a chance came along to sell it for a whopping profit. And Simon did even better on that collection of gold jewellery. He made the biggest profit of the day, selling it for £1,400.
We've had a great day. There's been a terrific crowd of people, lots of atmosphere, lots of buying and selling. That's what I like to see. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. Bye for now.